Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm Courtney,
And I'm MK.
and how are you?
I am exhausted, but I have
Same, same.
never been better in my life.
Mhm, mhm.
Because today my existence is brought to you by our Lord and Savior, Joshua Patrick Allen. I well, no, to be fair, also Matt Prater.
Okay. But he was 11-yard kick for like the last 30 seconds. Like
Yeah,
it
but
was good. I'm glad it happened,
okay,
but
yes, but do you know his story?
no.
He's okay, he's a 41-year-old retired kicker who just coaches is the assistant coach for
Oh,
his son's high school football team, who was literally on his couch on Thursday when they called him and asked him if he'd come up and be in the game because Tyler Bass is still injured. So he red-eyed overnight Thursday night to Buffalo
that's so
and then fucking won the game.
okay. Everything makes way more sense. I can't wait to tell Nick that story.
Well, because you were like, why is everyone so excited? Why was they were lifting him
Yeah.
up over their heads, and people were like
Yes.
crying about this kicker who just made an 11-yard field goal.
Right.
It's because he is a 41-year-old retired kicker who literally got called up off of not even off of a
Okay.
practice squad, off of his couch
Okay.
on
I'm in. I'm
Thursday.
I'm back in. Everything's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those of you who aren't psychotically obsessed with football, we had our season opener yesterday.
Mhm.
And the Buffalo Bills managed to have the wildest stats in NFL history.
Since 1967, they haven't come back that far, it said.
Yes, but in that amount of time, no one has ever come back that far,
Yeah.
ever. They came back from a 15-point deficit in the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter and won the game. Josh Allen had over 250 yards in the fourth quarter
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it was because it was a weak team because um
It's the top two
Lamar
teams.
Jackson also had a career high game. Like
Mhm.
it was wild. It was like one of the best games of football ever.
Yeah, me and Nick were talking about it, and he's like, I'm pretty sure we just saw the best game of the year, and it's
Yeah.
9-1. He's like, that, I was
Yes.
like, that kind of sucks. Like, we're
Well,
only going down from here. Like, it was
well,
a great game, but we're only going
yes,
down
but
from
it is.
here.
It was the game of the year. I've never
Yeah.
seen people. I did also see my favorite video. I've been stuck in like Buffalo Bills TikTok all day, which by stuck, I mean I'm living my best life.
You
But
moved there, yeah.
I moved there. I like
Yeah.
set up a shop. But there was
Right.
a video a girl said, I just want you all to know that I went on Etsy at the end of the third quarter and paid a witch to hex the Ravens, and I will be doing it for every game. You're welcome. Um,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
amazing. And unless the Minnesota Vikings defense manages to get negative points tonight, I won my first week of
I,
fantasy.
unless Justin Jefferson gets 31 points in the second half, I've won all three of my fantasy leagues this week. I am
Very
3 for
nice.
3.
I'm only in one this year,
I am in too many.
yeah, unless the Minnesota Vikings manage to get negative 4 points from the defense.
You know who did though? The Ravens. They had -7. So I had them on my bench. Thank God. I was like, I got 2 points with the Lions, and I was like, gosh, I should have put the Ravens in. No, the Ravens had -7 because of everything that happened.
Yeah,
So good thing they were on my bench last night.
which is crazy. Did anybody even have the Ravens in my league? I don't know. My league, we kind of like don't pay attention to defense. Oh yeah, no. Um, the Ravens had a -4 for defense, but the Bills also only had point 0.9.
Yeah, I had the Bills in a
Like
different league for my defense,
like
but
they
it didn't
were
matter.
it didn't matter, but like
It was because I had Cook and Josh Allen also playing that game, so it didn't really matter. The defense didn't get a ton of points.
yeah. So it was. absolutely wild. I was watching the game at work, like we were backstage.
Mhm.
This is the Outsiders tech, and we were just like all just sitting there, and then like I drove home and I was so stressed out because when I left work at 11 p.m. and it was 40 to 25. But then by the time I got home, it was still 40 to 25. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And Dan and Jake were just like pacing in the living room. And I was
Well,
like,
we left Mimos at the end of the first quarter,
Mm.
and then we got back and got settled with the baby. And I looked at the screen and it was 40 to 25. I was like, what happened? Because like I think we were like 17 and 25 when we left or something. Like it was a lot
Mm.
closer. And we got
Yeah,
back and it was 40 to 25. And I was like, how has this happened?
yeah.
And then of course the rest is history.
The rest is
I
history.
texted in our like what's still in our group chat, but I texted our group chat and I just said, let's go Buffalo. And Shay texted back and he was like, wait, did they win? And I was like, did you not watch that game? He was like, I turned it off third quarter. And I was like, you missed the game of the year. Like, that's
Yeah.
on you, bro. Like,
Well, my parents were at the game.
I know. I saw your mom's post.
Yeah, oh yeah, you saw my mom's post. But so
Mhm.
what happened, what you didn't see was my parents were at the game. Um, and I just saw all the pictures, like all the screen of how empty the thing was going, and like Josh saying that people were leaving, and all the commentators were saying that like thing was like half empty. And it was a really late game, to be fair.
Mhm.
And so I texted my mom and I said, did you guys stay till the end? And then I opened Facebook and saw her picture and I texted her back and goes, never mind, just saw your post. And she goes, yeah, over half the box left. And you have no idea the shit your dad is saying to them right now.
Oh, I bet. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was, that's the wildest game I've watched in a while. Like, it
Yeah.
was so good. And like I said, it kind of sucks that it was the first night,
I
but
know. I know. But the other wonderful news for me is that the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Jets all lost this
and the
week.
Chiefs lost. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I actually didn't see where um what happened with the Falcons. I hope they lost, but
The Falcons were playing. Who were they
I don't
playing?
remember.
Uh,
Tampa Bay. I do. I said that,
oh,
then I was like, I 100% remember because
oh,
Nick
then
said
they
that he
yes, then
didn't
they
want
did.
to.
Then they did lose because Tampa did great.
Amazing, great
They
week.
did.
Except for I was a little backwards on the Jets game because like I really, really hate Aaron Rodgers. And like the fact that he just left the Jets, went to the Steelers, and then beat the Jets, I was a little frustrated about. Like, I don't have any allegiance to the Jets. I don't have anything against them though either.
Oh, see,
Um,
but they're in my division, so I never want them
yeah,
to win.
yeah. But I
Who's
just
wait,
really
your division is you, the Falcons.
the Panthers, um, Tampa
Oh,
Bay.
well, the Panthers lost because they've never won a game in
They've
their
never won a
lives.
game in their lives. I don't know. I mean, we
Which
lost
is really
too.
upsetting because I am a Panthers fan. Like, I'm not saying that. Like, I'm actually a huge Panthers
I
fan.
know.
And
Mm. It
it
doesn't matter.
is.
McCaffrey never plays. I don't know why
McCaffrey
you're so
doesn't
big
play for
on.
them anymore.
Who does he play for now? Doesn't matter. He doesn't play for nobody because he's always hurt.
No, he plays for the 49ers. He was hurt last year, but he's fine this year.
For now,
For now, yes, but
he's always hurt.
I know.
Um, but
It's because he's too pretty to play football.
yeah, that's what it is. We actually didn't have the worst game of our lives. I mean, Rattler's not our QB, bless his heart. Um, but we had a lot of really bad ref calls on this first day too. Like there was a straight call, like Olave caught the ball and they were like, nope. And I was like, and that like screwed the rest of our game. And
McCaffrey did get 23 points yesterday.
good for him. Good for him. I hope he lasts a few more weeks. We talked about this the first time Kittle's hurt for a few weeks, which is a real
I
bummer for
know.
me.
Kittle's hurt, and I was really upset. But after last night, I'm less upset because Dalton Kincaid is my backup tight end. And I was worried because last year he had kind of a rough year.
Mhm.
But Kincaid and Keon Coleman both fucking showed up yesterday. And so I
I
was,
know. We're watching the game, and Nick was like, "You really need to go and see if Keon Coleman is still free because he's clearly Josh Allen's like favorite target this year." And he's like, "You need to like scoop him up before someone else does." And I went to look. He's on my bench. I already have. I had already
yeah.
picked him for the year.
I felt really bad because he is on Dan's bench. Dan did
Yeah.
not play him because we didn't expect him to do well because last year
Right. I didn't
last
play
year he was
either.
our one of our early round drafts of a rookie and he
Hmm.
was okay, but he wasn't great. But
Yeah.
yesterday he absolutely killed it. The his touchdown catch that went off of Dawson Knox's fingers
Hmm.
and was actually
Hmm.
headed for Shakir, and he still managed to catch
There
it.
like there was like three people. That was insane.
It
That was
was
insane.
insane.
I'm trying to figure out who I had instead of. Oh, there he is. I mean, yeah, he did absolutely bonkers. But I had Keenan Allen in and DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton. Like,
No, the only person that I was really
so he was only like
disappointed,
7 more points than what I had, and I still won that game because
the
Josh Allen
only
got a lot.
yeah, the only person I was really disappointed with how they actually did. Everybody did okay. They did around where I thought they would, some a little higher, some a little lower.
Hmm.
Kittle did really well until he got hurt.
Yeah,
AJ Brown fucking shat the
really.
bed. He got
Uh,
1.8 points.
it's a real bummer.
It is.
I had someone that didn't do it what I wanted them to. Like even Kamara did really. I mean, he only got 13 points, but he did better than I expected from how we've been
Oh,
doing.
oh
Um,
Baishal Tootin also did not do well. He did got 1 point, but to be fair, he wasn't projected to get points. I just picked him up because I liked his name and I had already filled everything I wanted. So,
yeah, T. Higgins, he wasn't in that game. He got 6 points. I don't know what happened. They were playing the Browns. I don't know why he didn't get any points, but
right.
like he didn't do well. He was the one that I was like, "What are you doing today?" But everyone else pretty much like held their own. So
Yeah.
I was I was pretty satisfied, and the fact that
Okay.
I've won all my leagues, 3 for 3.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to go in tomorrow and look at the standings because I was projected to have the eighth um
Same.
best team in the league, and I, as of right now, have the most points of anyone in our league.
I was
So,
projected to be eighth. Let me see. But while I was like during the third quarter, I was going up, and it said I was going to be ninth, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. I'm winning. Like that doesn't. That's not even how that works.
yeah, no, I solidly have the most points of
Oh, it still
anyone.
says I'm ranked eighth, but I guess because it hasn't like finished
It's not
processing
good. Yeah,
today.
it's not going to finish
But
processing till
like,
tonight's game is over, but like no one could, I don't think anyone can get higher points than me right now. I think I'm it. I win. I win the week. I have the most points for the week.
I didn't look at anyone else other than the guy I'm against. Oh, some guy named Wallace that I don't know. That's the other thing is like I don't know half the people own this league. Um, so there's one guy named Wallace who did better than me, and he had Jackson, McCaffrey, Nakwa. Zach Charbonnet did good this week. Colts defense was out of the rails and
No,
little. Like he just had a really good. Like
yeah.
these players aren't that good every week. They just did really good this week.
Yeah. No, Dan's cousin Joe is the only one who still has players playing right now, but he is 11 points behind me, and he so
Yeah, the
he
people that
he could potentially take me out.
I mean, the
But
people left that have people playing are like 50 and 60 points behind me, so they're not gonna
yeah.
get more points than I am. But I do like all, at least the person that is above me is someone I don't know that I've never met in
Mm,
my life. So all the people I do know, I can be mean to,
yeah.
which is what I'm really looking forward to. My 11 o'clock Snapchat that says I beat everyone.
Mhm.
That's my
Yeah.
that's my dream for today.
I love it.
Thank you. Um, yeah, I don't think I have anything to add. Oh, did you watch any college football this week by any chance?
Um, no, last weekend, Dan and I actually watched some college football, but this week we had a wedding on Saturday, so we didn't really
Mm.
watch any college football on
Um,
Saturday.
Mississippi State game off the rails. They were seeded 12th, and whoever they were playing, let's see if I can pull it up like in 2 seconds so we can move on. Um, oh, where is the NCAA? Week 2, not week 3. We're not there yet.
Uh,
Mississippi State. Yeah, Mississippi State played Arizona, and Arizona State is seeded 12th, and Mississippi State's not ranked, and they ended up winning. And that gave they took one of the goalposts out of the field, like past where the like players get ready. Like it was so off the rails. It looked like an Eagles game, but it was
Oh,
college. It was so
oh,
insane.
that
Like
is insane.
and like we watched the LSU games, we only watched like the last quarter of this Mississippi State game. But I haven't watched college football in so long, and so it just kind of was like off the rails.
That is
Um,
crazy.
yeah, it's been like what a good week of football it's been.
Yeah.
So while we're off on a
My
high,
my kids won their varsity game on Saturday too, so
oh, just a good week, just a good
it was a
week.
good week. Yep.
Well, it can only go down from here. So if you'd like to go ahead and get that started.
Yeah. In life, we are taught that there are seven deadly sins. We all know the big ones: gluttony, pride, lust. But the sin you don't hear much about is anger. Maybe it's because we think anger is not that dangerous, that we can control it. My point is, maybe we don't give anger enough credit. Maybe it can be a lot more dangerous than we think. After all, when it comes to destructive behavior, it did make the top 10.
Yeah, yeah.
The top seven, sorry, not the top 10.
That's okay.
Uh,
I knew what you meant.
yeah.
Well, um, here we are. It is okay. Taking you down a little bit. It's American Horror Story, Coven, episode 6. So it's a good one though. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it aired November 13th of 2013. Um, Fun fact, this was the day after my 21st birthday, and I lived with Caitlin and Jamie and Kayla and Brittany and uh
Yep.
my friend Dustin's birthday is the 13th, and so we're one day apart. And so
Yep.
he came out to Ruston and we did like this whole night out with sushi, and like Caitlin and Rachel made me this like drunk minion cake for my 21st. I'm sure you've seen pictures at some point.
Yeah.
Um, and we did sushi and had like a sash. It was so much fun. It was probably like one of my best birthdays ever. Um, and it was just kind of like low key, other than the sash, just because they put so much thought into it. It was so much fun. So
Yeah.
I was out and about during this time.
I was injured.
You were what?
Injured.
I heard in church, and I was like,
Oh,
that's a.
no. It was tech week. It was tech week for my senior show in college.
Mhm.
And I the night before, so like on your birthday, I got stuck in like my foot got stuck under a caster plate in a mat like in a place backstage that didn't
Mhm.
have glow tape around it because our stage crew was not competent. And my foot hooked under it, but I had to run onto the stage, and so um I have permanent nerve damage in my foot that I was
Oh,
dealing
how
with,
fun!
and I couldn't wear shoes for the rest of tech week.
I
So it
love
was
that for you.
it was a great time. So I was
Mm.
like hobbling through dress rehearsal
Uh, you made
while
it.
this
You made it
this
to the other
episode was
side.
playing, and I was literally hopping through dress rehearsal.
Also, for those of you watching, I am not doing cocaine, nor am I crying. I'm just having really bad allergies, and my nose just just that's why my face is so red. Everything's fine. But
No, it's not. I think we just spent 45 minutes talking about fantasy football. Now we still have an episode to
we
talk
might
about.
have. We might have. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
We're great.
So it was rated 7.8 out of 10, which
That
was lower than last
seems
week. I know.
low.
I know.
I do not appreciate that rating.
I don't either. It's because it wasn't as active as some. It didn't have the same kind of intensity. It was more story based.
Yeah, but
Um,
everything was so good.
I know. I agree with you. I'm not picky. Um, the number one song is still everything is still the same. It's still Royals, it's still Thor, it's still John Grisham. Um, on this day is the day that the One World Trade Center, so Freedom Tower, became the tallest building in the US.
Okay.
Um, and that seems strange because it had finished construction in May. but today was the day that they deemed it the tallest because they had
Mm.
been arguing over the spire, whether it was
Mm.
an antenna or whether it was part of the build, like the architecture, which is
Yes.
a very common architecture argument.
Yes.
Um, and they did indeed decide that it was part of the architecture, making it top the Willis Knighton building, which is no longer called that. I do not remember what it's called.
Which one?
But the Willis Knighton building, it's the Batman building in Chicago.
The Sears Tower?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Unless it's now called. I don't think it was the Sears Tower. It was the Willis Knighton building. Unless it was the Sears Tower, now it's Willis Knighton. Um,
Oh, the Willis Tower is now what
yeah,
it's
yeah.
called. It was called the Sears Tower
Oh,
for
okay.
fucking ever. Yeah,
That's why I
when
got
did it
confused.
stop
Yeah.
being called the Sears?
Technically a few years ago, but I think just recently people have actually started saying it.
Oh, because I was like, I literally have never
Um,
heard it called
yeah.
anything other
In
than the Sears Tower.
2009, they is whenever it changed, but I think it's only been the last like few years people have actually started calling it the Willis Tower, and they still don't really.
Cool.
Because I did do an architecture tour while I was there last year, and they talked about that.
That's so great. I literally didn't know what you were talking about because I have never heard it called anything other than the Sears
Well,
Tower.
and that's why I got backwards because I was like, I was thinking it changed from the Willis Tower. Now that you said, I'm like, oh no, 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 it's changed to the Willis Tower, and that's where the
Yeah.
confusion lies. But yeah, so it beat out the Sears Tower, now Willis Tower, um, for tallest building. Um, it also there was a big lawsuit. This is where Starbucks ended up paying $2.76 billion to Kraft Foods. Here's the thing though, it's not as exciting as you want it to be. Because I thought it was about packaging, and I was like, they've stolen a trademark. This is big, big news, big money news. No. They licensed their products to be packaged by Kraft Foods in like 98 or something. And
Yeah.
then that's how it was forever. And then they canceled the contract and said Kraft was not holding their end of the deal up. And so they sued, or they canceled the contract and sued them. And then Kraft re-sued and said they canceled with no good terms, basically, and Kraft won. So it was a little more boring than I wanted it to, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry.
yeah, but also the WikiLeaks published a an unreleased draft of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. So we got a lot of like things happening in the world today.
All right.
Um, our directors, Michael Apatow, who we've seen before. Writers are Douglas Petrie and John J. Gray. Douglas Petrie is new. He is
Okay.
known for Buffy, The Defenders, American Horror Story, and Papa. I've only seen The Defenders and parts of Buffy, but he also has done Daredevil, and he has done Pushing Daisies. So we
Mhm.
have our Brian Fuller connection here,
Yep.
as always. But he overall has had a more of a producer role and everything. Like he's producer for AHS, he's producer for
Okay.
Buffy. So he just happened to write this episode. I think this either this is the only one he wrote or this is one of two he wrote for American Horror Story.
So what you're
Um,
saying is he's actually a producer, but he has a really fucking weird Axeman fetish.
yes, 100%,
Cool, cool, cool,
100%.
cool, cool. Because I mean,
Um,
I do, and
right. I mean, most people do. Most people do. Um, and he's married. Oh, and some other random things he's worked on that were not in his like IMDb credits, but are in his like biography. Um, is Ren and Stimpy, Clarissa Tells It All, and Rugrats. Um, those were
okay,
writing credits. Those were not producer credits.
okay.
So, like, I was like, this is
You
a
do
weird
you,
thing.
Doug.
And then his
You
wife,
did say
Alexa
Doug,
Young,
right?
yeah,
Okay,
Douglas Petrie, but yeah,
Douglas.
Doug. His wife is Alexandra Young, who worked on Friends, and she won 3 Emmys because she worked on it from 94 to 99. So she was one of the big writers on Friends.
All right
Um,
then.
and then our editor is Fabian Buffet, who we've spoken about. Um, our guest star is Danny Houston, who plays the Axeman. He is known for The Constant Gardener, 21 Grams, The Aviator, and X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Mhm.
Which may be the only other thing I've seen him in, even though I know his face. Like, I feel like I've
Yeah.
seen him in everything, and then I was
What?
like, I don't know a lot
What?
of these things.
What did you say his name was?
Danny Houston, Huston. Um,
Oh, yeah.
He is also the half brother of Angelica Houston, who is Morticia Adams. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he also hasn't posted on his Instagram since 2020, so I couldn't tell you what he's up to these days. Um, but my favorite fact that I found about him is that in
Yeah.
1987, he directed an episode of The Magical World of Disney, and it was the episode about Bigfoot.
I love that.
And that was so
I
fun.
I'm wondering if this is the same guy that we've talked about before, not on the show, but like as a person to talk about, but
Hmm.
as someone that I always think is a different person. Like there's two guys, and I
Hmm.
always think that they're the same person, but they're not.
You think he's the guy that plays on oh my gosh, what's that show? It's like a sitcom show.
Oh no, I think he's a guy who's in Twin Peaks. Um,
He is not in
but
Twin Peaks.
no, I know he's not in Twin Peaks
That I
because
can
I'm,
tell you. So he's not that guy.
yes, I understand
Let's
that, but
see.
who is, oh, am I looking? Oh, it's because I
Ray
accident.
Wise. He has in a
Ray
sitcom
Wise.
show.
Oh, I'm
You
sure,
always
but
think
for,
he's him.
yes, is that it's all that it's just that I'm always confusing him with Ray Wise. Is that what happened?
What is
Okay.
he in? He's in some like light, like not normally, but he's in some like light shows at some point. Um, it doesn't even show me, but it is him. It's Ray Wise. It's
Okay.
not this guy.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's
But
what it
yeah.
is. His face looks familiar because I just always confuse him with Ray Wise. That's what it is.
Hmm.
But we did talk about this because Don S. Davis was in Twin Peaks. And so when we
Mm-hmm.
were talking about something, when we talked about Stargate with Don S. Davis, like ages ago,
Yeah.
we had this similar conversation about people who look the same.
Right. Because there are a lot of them. Yeah, because like this guy's been in like one episode of everything. Danny Houston has.
Yeah.
Um, but but yes, he is not Ray Wise. He is the Axeman. And this episode is called The Axeman Cometh.
Now,
So
when this episode started, and when I tell you, this is how much of a psycho I am. Like, for those of you who didn't know that I'm like legitimately crazy, I'm not pretending, it started. And it said esteemed mortals. And I paused it and then proceeded to say the entire letter out loud. And Dan was like, what is going on? And I was like, you don't know about the Axeman of New Orleans? And he was like, no,
he doesn't know about him at all?
no, no. I had to. So after
Good
after
words.
reciting the entire X-Man letter, then also reciting it with the Axeman through the episode, I then had to educate my husband on the Axeman of New
Oh my
Orleans.
goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to tell you about him in a minute. I'm going to give you an intro
Good.
and then tell you about him. So stay tuned.
Perfect.
But as you mentioned, that opening monologue is the letter from the Axeman of New Orleans. And we start 1919, New Orleans. And we see him kill a couple with an axe, par for the course.
Yep.
Um, and then we go to a house where there's a group of women and they're reading and discussing the jazz music. We do eventually learn it is the Robichaux house, so it's the witches, which
Mhm.
you could deduce,
I mean,
but if you
it
want
had
to
the
be
same
told,
furniture.
yeah. And
Apparently,
so
they haven't
there's
changed
this
the furniture in a hundred
right,
years.
it changed a lot. Um, and one of the women is asking about the Axeman, or is asking the Axeman, but she doesn't know. She thinks he's just a saxophonist to walk her home because she's nervous about the Axeman. And if
That
that
isn't
isn't serial killer
typical,
vibes,
yeah, it's
yeah.
typical serial killer. But then also what he says to her is creepy as shit too. It's super typical serial killer because he's
I don't
like
remember what he
the
said.
Axeman. He was like,
Oh yeah,
didn't you hear the Axeman's a fan of jazz and you got rhythm in your soul?
yeah.
Fucking creep.
And he walks the streets at night and hears all of the music playing, and it's a
And
little
he's
disjointed.
but he it is disjointed because it's every house playing a different
Right.
jazz, but he's thriving.
He is having the best time of his
He's
life.
joyful.
Um, and then he walks in on the woman who we know is a witch, and she's playing opera music because she's a rebel, and she's reading her tarot. And she flips right before he gets up to her, she flips the death card, which, if you know anything about reading tarot, doesn't all it's not
Doesn't
meant
have
to.
anything to do with it. In fact, has
It's
almost nothing to do with death.
almost nothing, right? It's just like kind of like a rebirth, more like it's actually
Yeah.
quite an exciting card because it means things
Death,
are
death to
changing.
old ways, new
Right,
beginnings.
right. So, but fine, but fine.
Fun.
We'll go with
Yeah.
this death. And he goes to kill her, and he's like, "How? Like basically how appropriate?" And she's like, "This isn't for me. This is for you." And all of the
Mhm.
witches start flocking to the center and just stab him to death. And that's where we
Yeah.
get the credits. So, let me tell you a tale. We have the Axeman of New Orleans. And for those of you that don't know, I'm speech got text message, I got very distracted. Um, so for those of you who don't know, in 1919, and a few years previous, there was a slew of axe killings in New Orleans. They weren't every day, they weren't in any consistent way, they were just always an axe, always in the middle of the night. You never knew when it was going to happen.
Well, and actually, that's not entirely true because they were almost always Italian grocers and their wives.
So, yes and no. There's a couple of different versions, and that's one of the more forefront ones, but they've told a few different stories
They've
because there's never been determined exactly who was
exactly
killed by the
how many.
Axeman and who
That's
was a
right.
mob hit. Because also at the time we had, because it was the Italians, we had a big mob population here that was also killing.
Yeah.
And so some people are skeptical that that wasn't the Axeman, that was people pretending to be him to blame him and get mob hits taken out. So
Interesting.
there's a
So
little,
yeah, but I was gonna say because a large even the people that they're not sure if it was him or not, a
yeah,
large portion of them were
yeah,
and not just that they were all Italian, they were all Italian grocers, like
yeah.
grocery
Well,
store men.
those are people that were running stuff.
Right.
So like,
But
yeah,
it's just like a very random for it to not be like what he was aiming for, it's a very random choice.
yeah. Well, and it's more likely my personal everyone pick your favorite story. Let me start
Yeah.
there. There's a lot of X-Men stories. Pick your favorite. And my favorite is that most of those were mob hits, and he actually only killed three or four groups of families. And it just so happened because there were so many Italians there at the time that it just was like
Yeah, I
percentage-wise, it
think
makes sense that he killed that's who he accidentally killed.
right. Oh
Um,
my gosh, my recording has stopped.
oh no, are you out of space? Because that happened to me a couple times.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm still recording, so I can send
Okay.
this to you. I'll put it in
Yeah.
the drop.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so we have the Axeman did kill a lot of Italians, but it was just like um that's why I really like the last tour that I did because she really went into the history and like pretty
Hmm.
much all of that area was just Italian. Like
Yeah.
they had run out the Irish, they had run out like we were down to basically the Italian mob ran that area of New Orleans. And so like
Right.
it made sense because he was just staying in my area and you didn't have as much moving around space in 1919. Um, and so he would kill these families in the middle of the night. A lot of times he would use axes that were already in their house. He didn't bring his own. Like he
Mm.
broke in, but he never got caught. No one ever found him. He never got on camera. Um, it was just like people couldn't even like identify him.
Hmm.
But then what this one night when he put the letter out, he said that he would stop terrorizing New Orleans if as long as they were all playing jazz. And some people think like just for that night, some people think it's forever, some people think this and that, whatnot, whatnot. Um, but everyone turned on their jazz music in the city, and
Hmm.
then he was never seen again. And there are a lot of different theories. There's a theory um, that he killed one of the mobsters, and they took revenge on him, and that's why he never came back because then he was killed by the mafia.
Okay.
So that's one of the theories. There's a theory that he made that promise. He loved jazz music so much that he actually moved to California. And that there was in like one of the stories is that he moved there and he did some killing there or whatever, but I mean it's California, it's a lot different
Yeah.
than New Orleans. But also there was a woman who became an actress at one point and said she actually saw him in California and recognized him. And that's how she knew that he had moved there. There
Okay.
is a theory that someone actually saw him in a trench coat going into a house and that they like got evidence of what he looked like and that's why he stopped. Um, but my favorite theory, of course, is one that he didn't actually do a lot of the murders. It was Italian mob hits, and that he made this letter and said he would leave New Orleans and not terrorize them ever again if they played jazz music. And they played jazz music and he left and lived happily
Yep.
ever after. That's my favorite theory.
I love it.
So, but there are quite a few. That's like 3 of 100. Like there are
Yeah.
so many stories about the Axeman in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so please feel free to deep dive as much or as little as you'd like. Um, but yeah, so then we jump to today, and Zoe is going through Madison's things and finds a gun, and then she sees an empty liquor bottle roll on the floor and follows it. And I was like, girl, I don't know if you're trying to do a following spell or if you just are like don't know what you're doing, but you have seemed to
Probably.
have created a following spell, whether you intended it or not. Um,
Yeah.
because she follows it to the like creepy picture box, and that's when she finds that. She finds all the old photos of the witches from the 1919 times and before and after all of them.
Yeah.
She finds the Ouija board, which I don't know if they ever actually call it a Ouija board in this
No,
episode.
they call
They
it a spirit board.
right, which is like the more frequently used term, I guess, for like actual magical communities.
Yes.
Um, but I wrote it down and then like throughout the episode, I was like, I don't think they even actually said that. So
No, they just call it a spirit board,
yeah,
which yeah, is actually what people who commune with
practice
spirit
use it.
call it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, and so then so she goes to talk with Nan and Queenie and basically tell them what she's discovered. And she's like, we're all going to take shots and form this alliance. And I was like, that is the proper way to form an alliance.
Correct. Over
Um,
shots of absinthe is how you
right.
form alliances.
Which is very apropos because I don't know if you all know, but absinthe is very like rampant here. We have this area of downtown called Pirates Alley, and we have the old absinthe shop, which has made its own absinthe. And it has like just so many varieties. And like I don't like absinthe because it tastes like licorice.
Yeah, I don't like
But
it. No, I don't
yeah,
like absinthe. I don't like ouzo. I don't like
yeah, I don't like any of those.
no. No.
But I did go to Pirates Alley and have absinthe at the old absinthe house, and they have so many ways where they like some have a little less sugar, a little less sweetener. They'll add a hint here, they'll add this, and like there was actually one or two that I did like.
Mm.
So like if you're ever in New Orleans, highly recommend going to the old absinthe house. You will probably find one you like, even though like you can get your traditional absinthe that everyone hates too if you want. But
Yeah,
they make it all there. It's been there. It's one of the oldest places in New Orleans. It's like it's a cool spot. Um,
we love to see
Anyway,
it.
so absinthe makes sense. And if you've ever
Yeah.
watched Moulin Rouge, you also know it makes you see green fairies. So
Yes.
that's not a New
That's
Orleans thing though.
honestly every time I think of absinthe, that's what I think of.
Yeah, yeah, me too. So Queenie immediately panics basically, and she's like, I don't think we need to do this. She's like, we're playing dangerous games. Ouija boards are no jokes. One time my grandma used one, burned down her whole house and like injured herself. Like this is not a game.
Yeah.
Um, even though it was created as a game by Martin
It was
Meyer
in
and
fact created
everything.
as a game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, and so then she's trying to give the overview and she's like, you have to ask your questions, you have to be polite. And then she stopped and I was like, you also have to say goodbye. That is a very important part of the sport that you did not mention in your rules.
Correct.
Um, and then it starts moving on its own, and they assume, or they want it to be Madison, and it is not. It is the
No.
Axeman, who has just been waiting for this day to come.
Yeah.
Um, so then we go back to Fiona, who's at the hospital with no, but no, she's at her own hospital getting chemo.
Yeah.
And when she's getting her chemo, she starts developing the gift of mind reading, which is interesting because she's never had that gift before. And so theoretically,
Right.
she should be weakening,
But
but
now she's
this
getting
drug
new gifts.
has
Yeah.
given her a gift, right? And so then hearing everyone's making her go insane, which is totally fair. I would have completely reacted 100% the same way.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
yeah. And so she gets up and like unhooks herself and she's like, I have to get out of here. I don't care anymore. I'm only doing like, and the doctor stops her and he's like, no, no, we put a sedative in there. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's calming down. And she's like, I'm only doing this because I need to do this for my daughter. Like she needs me, so I need to still be here. Um, and then so she's sitting there and he's pumping her back up with the medicine. And she just says, I want one more great love affair in my life. And I was like, what a dream.
What a
Um,
dream.
and so we go back to Zoe Queen Nan.
Yeah, find a better
And
dream though.
truly, truly. Um, and this is where they learned that the saxophone is also referred to as an axe. For those of you who don't know, it is.
Yep.
I do feel like that's kind of common knowledge, but they acted like it's the first time they ever heard it in their lives, so maybe it's not.
Right. That was
I don't know.
weird.
Yeah. Um, and Nan knows that they've killed him. She's like, that this is what happened. The witches have killed him, and that's why he's back. Trying
Yeah.
to like, we've been dwindling all of these years. We started with 20, 30, 40, 50 back in the day, and now we have five. Well, now we have three. Like,
Three. Yeah.
and she's like, so this is where we're at. And Zoe's decided she's ready to release him. She's like, he's gonna help us. We're gonna release him into the world. And Queenie's and Dan are both just like, no, thank
Please
you. Leave
don't.
me out of that.
Yeah.
Um, so she's gonna do it alone. She goes to talk to him alone. And she starts everything up and she's like, if you give me what I want. So a lot of innuendos for no good reason.
Yeah, the whole like
None at
give
all.
me release thing
Yeah.
over and over again was real creepy and I
Not
did not care
necessary.
for it. Nope.
Not a fan. Yeah, not a fan at all. So I actually forgot because it was such a like small part. I forgot that that happened. Um, so she is telling him all this, and she's like, "I'll release you," and so he just puts attic. And apparently, that's also the first thing that the board told the girls in Charmed. It's been a very long time since I watched the first episode of Charmed,
Yeah, it's been way too
but
long since I've watched the first episode of Charmed, so I have no idea.
I don't know. So I thought that was interesting. And so she breaks into Spalding's house, which is the attic. And I called it the House of Nightmares because
Because it's
it
a
is.
nightmare. Yeah.
Um, and she's searching through and everything smells and she finds Madison. And then Spalding finds her. And we go back to
Yeah.
Fiona. And Hank and Cordelia um, come into Delia's room, and that's where Fiona is. She's been setting it up. She's been trying to get it all like propped up for when Cordelia gets home. And she just starts critiquing it. And she's like, why are there roses? And she's like, I'm trying to spruce it up. And she's like, no, roses are for love, for new beginnings, for this. She's like, I need chrysanthemums. I was like, it's like,
I
you
mean,
can't even
her flower symbolism is correct.
100%. And she's obviously come back a different person. Like, she's much stronger now than she was before.
Yes.
And Hank puts his hand on her and she confronts him. And because then she sees Kaylee and she sees the whole scene.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about last week, like she saw him like in flashes, and then she saw the one flash of him in the bed. And that was it. And now she's seen the whole scene break down and saw who he
Yeah.
was with, and um she says that she had to go blind to see what was really going on. And which is just upsetting, but is
So
true
upsetting.
apparently.
Yeah.
And so she tells him to leave and she opens the door with her mind. And she says she wanted to sever his arms and throw him out the window, so he had to leave. It's like, I get you.
Yeah.
Um, and so then Fiona goes to touch her to like comfort her, and she sees all the flashes of Myrtle burning at the stake. Um, which she's very upset about because
She
Myrtle's like her aunt.
yeah.
Um, but
Myrtle
she tells
actually like
her,
took care of her when her mom didn't.
right, but she tells her, she's like, this Myrtle caused this, and so she was burned. Like, it's just part of it. So we go back to Spalding, and the girls are torturing him to find out what happened to Madison. They waited until Fiona left, so he didn't have any like backup.
Yeah.
Um, and he, of course, says he killed her because he's not going to tell on Fiona. Um, but he says he goes to this whole gross tradition of he killed her to sleep with her when she was dead, basically.
Oh God,
Um,
it was so graphic.
it was like there was so much unnecessary like sexual innuendos in this episode. Like we didn't need all that.
Yep.
Um, and Queenie burns his face with the spatula on her face until he passes out. And she's like, I'm gonna wait to kill you until you're back alive because I want you to feel it. But Zoe doesn't believe he did it, which is
No.
true. Which is
Yeah.
true. He didn't do it. He just cleaned up pieces.
Right.
So we go back to Misty, who is going about her garden, which now includes Myrtle's
Myrtle's
body,
body.
right? And she's pouring swamp water on everything to work on like raising Myrtle from the dead. And Myrtle tries to like claw her way out. She's like, "You're not ready yet." Like, not yet,
Oh,
almost.
not
And
yet.
then Cal shows up. So he's run away from killing his mom and is now showing up at Misty's.
Yeah.
Um, and she tells him that he needs a bath and goes to give him a bath. Um, and he panics because
Oh,
of the flashbacks with his mom.
yeah.
And he starts like, and she obviously doesn't know what's going on because she's done this before when she first was
Right.
bringing him back. And she's like, I don't know why you're acting so crazy. But he like leaps out of the bath and starts throwing her jars around. And she is just like full panic. She's like, you stop. I don't know why you're doing this. Stop doing this.
Right.
And he even knocks, like, breaks her radio. And she starts
Yeah.
sobbing and tells him he's a monster and that he broke Stevie. And that was so sad
That
because
was
all she
so
cared about
sad.
in life, that's all she had. She doesn't have anything else.
Yeah.
Um, and then Zoe shows up because perfect timing. Why not?
Why not?
Um, and she said that she's like, take him. I can't have him here anymore. And she's like, well, I'm also taking you. Like, we have work to do. And so we have a brief scene where Hank goes down to the ninth ward to see his friend, Marie Laveau.
Yo, I was so mad.
I know. And so
So
he
mad.
walks in and he says, we have a problem. And so we already knew. We already knew we didn't like him, but we didn't know
Yep.
all of the reasons why. And so then we jump back over to Kyle and Zoe and Misty, and
Hmm.
Zoe ties him up to just like calm him down. And she's like, everything's fine. And she shows Misty Madison. And Misty's like, cool, yeah, yeah, yeah. She's like, can you help me? She's like, can find you some lush ground outside. We can find her a nice place to rest. And she's like, no, you raised people from the dead. She's like, she's rotting. Like, it's too late for her. She's like, and
Yeah.
she's missing an arm. She's like, oh my gosh, I have the arm.
I
She's
don't, you
like,
don't have to worry about that. I have
like,
it.
don't worry at all, I have it. And she's like, okay, we're doing this. And so she gets her mud, her Louisiana mud, and starts putting Madison back together. And she wakes up screaming and then says she needs a cigarette. And just like that, Madison's back.
Yeah.
So we go back to Hank and Marie. And Marie, he's like, I don't know why you had to like do the acid or whatever, like a low blow. She's like, I didn't do that. So now we know Myrtle didn't do it because she was framed.
Yep.
We now know Marie Laveau didn't do it. We know Hank didn't do it. So let's see who
So,
did it. Eventually we'll know. Probably. Um, Turns out this whole time, the past 6 years he's been married to Cordelia or with her, whatever, he's a witch hunter for Marie Laveau. And
yeah.
so he was supposed to find all of the Salem descendants. And turns out he killed Kaylee because she showed up at the Robichaux house a year ago. And she was looking at being, part of their group because she burned her ex-fiance or ex-boyfriend alive because he left her because she was weird. Um, Turns
Oh
out he
yeah.
just didn't know everything, and it was the second time that she had been accused of arson. So it's clear that she had a gift and wasn't just burning things down. Um,
Yeah.
and so she was talking to Delia. And it turned out that's also obviously how Hank found her is through Delia's research of finding all of these like Salem descendants. And
Mm,
Marie says, like, he's gone too far and now he's in love and he can't do his job accurately. Um, and he's like, no, no, this is what you told me to do, and this is the best way to do it. I mean, it's obviously clear that he does actually not want to
yeah.
kill Delia now. But
Right.
here we are. Um, but she tells him to bring back the heads of Fiona, Cordelia, all the witches at Robichaux House, and burn it to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a party.
And now we go back to the house. And Misty is shopping. She's grocery shopping in the house. She's taking bagels and milk and all these things she needs.
Yeah.
And Zoe tells everyone they don't talk to Fiona about this. No one tells Fiona what's going on.
Mm,
And I was like, cool, cool, that's good. Cool, cool.
yeah.
Um, And then Misty's like, all right, deuces, I'm going home. I got stuff to do and I can't be here anymore. Um, and so he's like, wait, it's really late. Why don't you just like stay the night? Like you said, you've been looking for your tribe, like where your people. And she's like, this is not my coven. She's like, there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. There's some like evil stuff going on here. Like this
She's
isn't
like
it.
that. She's like, yeah, I feel evil in this house.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I'm still looking for my tribe. It's not you guys though. So bye. Um,
Bye.
and then Cordelia finds the Axeman in her room. And then we go back to Madison. And they're kind of like trying to fill her in on what's going on. And like, she asked what happened to her. And she thought she was in a car crash. Like, she doesn't remember Fiona slitting her throat. So she has no idea what happened. She said all she saw was red. They were like, what's the last thing you saw? And she was like, red. That's it. Just red. And they were like, well, did you see like light or anything? And she's like, there is nothing on the other side. She's like, it is just black forever. It's like, all right, well, that's inspiring. We go back to Tilly and the Axeman, and he is livid because he was told he would be released if he
Mhm.
gave the information, and Zoe tricked him. And so now he's everyone's problem. Um, and so he like slams her up against the wall, and he basically tells her that Zoe tricked him, and he's gonna get what he wants one way or another, um,
Yeah.
even if he has to torture them to make it happen. Um, and he wants her to call the witches who killed him so he could kill them back, basically. And he's
Right.
got all of these things, and then Zoe is trying to find. She's like her solution is to find a spell to make him move on.
Yeah.
However, she's able to pull the right book at the right time. She, by feeling it alone, she says everything perfectly clear, which is again showing how much better she's gotten.
Yeah.
And then she goes to get Delia. However, she did not make him move on to the next place of life. She released him. And so now he's leaving the rope shelf. We go to Fiona, who is like at the bar. She's just kind of like sitting in her despair with everything
Yep.
going on. And she's vibing a little bit, but her hair is falling out and she's getting depressed. Then the Axeman sits beside her and starts flirting with her. And that, my friends, is the end of this episode.
Wild.
Wild. And truly, I thought about looking up more stories of the Axeman, and I was like, I cannot make 45 minutes of this episode be about the Axeman and his stories. So I did. I stopped myself from looking anything up about him. Because I was like, I can only say what I already know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
No.
that's our first Axeman episode. What did you think?
Um, the only thing is I want to share my story about the Axeman, which is
Okay.
not related. It's just that I went when I was in New Orleans, there was a bar tour that I went on. Like it was like a ghost tour that ended in a bar, but the bar itself that it ended in
Hmm.
was in one of the rooms that depending
Hmm.
on what murders were actually his or not, he may or may not have murdered
Which bar
someone.
did you go? Well,
I don't fucking remember.
which was the red room?
I don't
Was
know.
it a red? Was it? Do you remember red?
No, the room was not red.
Okay, then no, it's a different place I'm thinking of.
Okay. But it was supposedly one of the places that he murdered people. And yeah, and then I met a guy and I don't remember anything else from the rest of that night.
Did you have purple drink? Was it Lafitte's bar?
I just said I remember nothing. I met Mark on this tour. We got drunk. We ended up at a piano bar. We went back to my hotel. I remember nothing.
You would remember purple drink if that's where you started. But if you didn't start there, it probably went Lafitte's. It was probably somewhere else. Because if you went to
Mm.
Lafitte's, you got purple drink. That's all I'm saying. But it's one of the
Okay.
most haunted bars in New Orleans and one of the
Mm.
oldest. So a lot of tourists start there.
I mean,
Um,
maybe, but also that meant I started drinking there, which means by the time I got
right.
to
Oh, before you left, you would
the
have been drunk if you had purple drink. Like it doesn't. It you don't even have to make it all the way through the first drink and you're drunk.
I don't think I had that.
Yeah. It tastes like Diamond Tap
It
for the
tastes
first
like
sip.
no,
But then you don't taste it after the first sip. I'm telling you, it is so wild.
I did
Sometimes
not
it's
have
got Everclear in it.
anything that strong. For sure, I did not. Nothing that I had
Good for
didn't
you.
taste delicious.
I'm proud of you. Proud of you.
Thanks. I wasn't with you though. I wouldn't have known what to get. I was by
I
myself.
know.
So I just ordered things that sounded like they actually tasted good, not like they would murder me.
It's all right. Well, you'll have to come visit me one day and we'll go and we'll take the ferry and park in Algiers and not drive downtown.
Mm.
Basically. Just
See,
walk down there.
I drove, but I drove to my hotel that had a parking lot, like a garage
Yeah.
in like so I only drove into the quarter long enough to pull into the lot at
Well,
my
I mean, there are
hotel.
garages. I just don't like paying for them, but then you have to get out of the quarter. Like, that's the problem.
Mm,
Like, Algiers is like 30 minutes from here, and it's a neighborhood. So you can just
fair.
park in the neighborhood and then take the ferry.
Fair, fair, fair.
But yeah, so what are your any other thoughts?
Fuck Hank. He's an absolute fucking piece of shit. I hate him.
Isn't he though?
Um, also, Zoe, girl, you're really trying, but you're
She's
not smart
she's
enough.
so dumb.
So dumb.
Oh gosh.
But also like that's what happens when you all get so involved in your own fucking bullshit that you leave a bunch of magical teenagers to just do whatever the fuck they want.
Right. No, it's but also like I think they did that before, but Queenie and Nan just kind of like stuck to their stuff. Like even
Because
Madison, like her wild and out was like just partying. It wasn't like she was burning stuff down every day. Like Zoe is causing chaos, and it's just
yeah.
too much. I I love Titus Farmiga so much. I love to hate her in American Horror Story. Brings me joy. Um, Yeah, no, same. What do you think is gonna happen next? We haven't seen the next episode yet.
I have not seen the next episode. I don't even know how to comprehend how badly shit's about to go but bad. Because
Because we're halfway through. I mean, this
we're
was
about to,
episode
yeah,
six,
this was
so we're
episode
about to hit
six,
the
so we're like about
halfway
to
mark.
hit like the episode where every
Hmm.
fucking thing goes haywire.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how to comprehend how badly it's going to go for
I
everyone
don't even know what
involved.
episode is next. I meant to look up for that. Because that's the thing is I watched this all so long ago that like I know what happens and I know the story. I do not know the order it happens in. Not even like a little. Let's see. Um,
Well, fucking Fiona's gonna be off making sweet love to a 100-year-old dead axe murderer, so like that's cool.
hmm. Oh yeah. This is a wild one. Yep, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun ride. That's all I can tell you because I don't know. It's too late for me to come up with something that's not spoilery. So it's gonna be a wild one. It's gonna be fun. Yeah. Well, who do you want to punch?
Hank.
Yeah, no, 100%. I want to punch Zoe. I think she's stupid, and I need her to like she's been at this house what like a month maybe, and she's like trying to run stuff. She don't even know what witches are right now. Like,
Right.
calm down. You haven't even been to a class. Like, give it some time. Um, but yeah, so I'm ready to punch Zoe. Who's your MVP?
Um, to be honest, I don't think there is one. Um, I think I wrote Zoe just because she like has has gotten it in her. She's done everything absolutely wrong.
Mm-hmm,
100%.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But she's the only one who is like looking at the fact that the witches are disappearing as an actual like problem. She's the
Yeah,
only one who's like, no, no, no. If all the Salem witches are disappearing, it means we need to do something. Like they don't we don't just like stop existing. Like,
right.
and so despite the fact that she has gone about solving the problem in every worst possible way, she's the only one who's acknowledging that there is a problem, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone else sucked this episode. So,
No, 100%. That's totally fair. I mean, I'm still in Pickers MVP, but I get what you're saying. I'm
yeah,
gonna go with Delia
that was
because
the only other
she
one that I even considered.
is like, screw you people. Everyone is making mistakes. And my husband's the worst one, has sent him away too. Like, everyone is terrible. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
correct. Correct, ma'am. Um, yeah, so if you have any thoughts or want to talk to us about this episode, feel free to email us, deathandaliens@gmail.com. Find us on all of the social media at Death and Aliens. You can find me at CECloud13.
And you can follow me everywhere at EMKAY_superstar.
We are floating some ideas around about our next show, so maybe keep an eye out. I'll post something once I've made a decision what I'm gonna post. So, but this is
Yeah.
probably around the time that you'll know because we'll be like 2 episodes away from the end when this comes out and recording.
Yeah.
So, stay tuned. We'll let you know what's next. But in the meantime, we'll see you on a Sunday for Sci-Fi Sunday. And it should be fun. Less dark. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
So, we'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.